Hi guys, how are we? Joey, how are you doing?
Oh, doing fine. I'm looking over to my left because I got a full-size screen to my left. I was on the call last week, but I didn't have video or audio set up. So this will be my second time with you
Great,
folks.
great.
So I'm
I have a
having a look
big,
over here at
yeah,
the,
I got a
the
big monitor
camera.
too, so I kind of like, I get it. It's okay.
Yeah.
Where are you calling from?
Oklahoma City, but I moved here from Atlanta back in 2015. So it's definitely a gun-friendly environment here. So
Sure.
yeah,
But are
last
they the
week
kind that likes to get training or their grandpa teaches them and they don't need any training?
I I'm also a chief range safety officer, certified pistol, shotgun, and a bunch of other certifications. And for folks here, they have people that went through the SDA, Self Defense Act training, which I could teach that class, but I haven't because I've been a auto adjuster for the last few years, well, since 2015. And right now, our need for independent adjusters to work for different providers is dropping off. So I'm looking at, I may have to go with the plan that I had to begin with, which was firearms instruction, since I've got quite a background. And, but here I had people that were shooting when I was a range safety officer to get their self defense act or concealed carry permits. And they were having a lot of problems. And I pretty much got them shooting, within a 6 inch circle by the time, their training was over with. So for gun friendly, you got a lot of people that say, yeah, I shot with my uncle, my cousin, my grandfather. And I had the last guy I worked with, he was used to shooting revolver. So he had a revolver grip on a semi-auto. So we had to break him of that. I said, okay, I want you to go ahead and draw again. I said, there's that revolver grip. That doesn't work, my friend. But
Yeah, muscle memory is a thing.
oh yeah. I mean, I had the pleasure of training last year 3 days with Rob Latham and Mike Sieklander, which that was quite an event. And they allowed us to do video recording, which I can't share with anyone, but I've got a lot of video and I was asking Rob and Mike a lot of questions off to the side. As you can see right here, I took some notes last week when we were having this little meeting. So I'm one that takes notes and I want to really know exactly, I want to know exactly what somebody's doing, because I'd watch, Mike and Rob and I say, Mike had a certain way of drawing the pistol, putting his hand on his chest. I said, well, are you keeping your fingers together like this? He said, yes. Everybody else had their fingers spread. So I got a lot of video of, you'll hear a guy asking question after question. And he actually liked that because that's what he's looking for, you know.
Did
But
you get did you get our training? It's
well, I got the program, but I've had a lot of other stuff go on this week where I haven't been able to go through
that's
it.
okay.
Yeah,
It's all right.
I'm going to, but I had a printer blow up on me on Friday. It's been a long story. So I ordered parts, couldn't get them, ordered another printer. They sent me the wrong one. Today I finally got the right one, one of those things. But yeah, I will be going through your training though, because I looked at it briefly, but
Okay.
I'll be going through it. But where I am right now is since we make great money doing, the auto adjusting like we did remotely, they want me to go back in the field, but I can't. I just, due to health, I can't do it again. I had to give it up about a year ago in the field. So I'm looking at, since we dropped off so bad, I may just go with what I wanted to do to begin with, firearms training.
So,
But they got a lot of people that want to learn here, and I have a lot of connections at one major gun show here. I know the guy that owns a gun show, so I can get a booth up front and the back wherever I want one.
that's how a lot of businesses get started is we kind of get forced into it. We get pushed off the cliff. It's either, now or never and that's not so bad.
Oh no, no. but it's just getting the proper insurance and getting everything set up, which I'll have to look at doing as well.
Sure.
But
That takes 10 minutes.
that's why I was interested in seeing, exactly what you had to offer and what was, happening with the group. So
Sure. Sure.
it looks
Well,
like it's a
most of
great
our stuff is
idea.
free. We just give
Mhm.
back to the firearm community. We do endorse Instructor Dash to do your billing, all your ticket sales and customer management, but everything else is free.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
great. That's great.
awesome.
So I look forward to it.
Great. Derek, were you here last week?
No, it's not.
Well, welcome. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from I'll be nice, the great state of New Jersey.
Well, I'm right outside of DC, so one armpit
Oh,
or the other armpit.
yeah, exactly. So you feel my pain. You
I
feel
do
my pain.
feel your pain, but I am on the Virginia side, so like I can smell it, but I don't live in it. So I
Very
understand. Do you have a business already?
Yes. So my firearms instruction is connected to a security agency that a friend of mine who's retired law enforcement out of New York started, and we work on that and manage it together. We actually focus on house of worship security and nonprofit. That's where our heart is. We felt that God was leading us in that direction, and we started out with security and assessment and staffing for our own church, and are looking to grow that to other churches currently. So, and
That's
with that, the firearms instruction is involved, whether it be training our own people, training people from other churches. In New Jersey, you have to have, to work security, you have to be registered with the state police, and it's called the SORA, the Security Officers Registration Act. And so we get people their permits and things like that as well, so they can function in that capacity.
that's awesome. We had a scare with the church down the street, just a few blocks from my church. Somebody posted some crazy stuff on Facebook and said they were coming
Mm,
to shoot everybody, and they came.
wow.
But they
Wow.
stopped him before he got in the door. They saw him. They were prepared for him. Their security team was on point. It was very
Good.
quiet.
Good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
that's
great.
hugely important. I'm still amazed in finding that a lot of churches do not see the need for security, and there are ways where you can make it just so that, I mean, my church, not to give too much away, but we made some adjustments when they had the shooting last year in Jerusalem at
Mhm,
the synagogue.
mhm.
One of the things that came out of that, and we assess international and domestic events. One of the things that came out, people were exiting the synagogue at the time when the shooting occurred. Like 70% of any active event will start in a parking lot outside the building. So we made some adjustments with having myself or someone else out front. And so we're plain clothes, we're acting as a greeter. We're part of the church, so people know us. On Sunday, I prayed with two people from our church that just needed a little extra boost, to go in that day. And so there's that component as well, where it's that friendly feel. Not to mention, I get to see a lot of the same people. Our church is in the city, and I get to see a lot of the same people walking by every Sunday. So I'm saying hello to them. I'm greeting them. If I don't see them for a while and then I see them in a few weeks, I'll say, hey, you know what? I was wondering, is everything okay? I missed you. I used to see you all the time or whatever. So you get that connection with the people from the perspective of being Christian, but also that connection where these people are going to be the eyes and ears that may be the ones that step in either and help you, or maybe that witness that you need to make sure that you don't get jammed up in the state of New Jersey. So
That's really great. Thank you so much. Um,
sure,
I might call you later and ask you some house of worship questions.
sure,
Um, so I can't get my church to. I'm allowed to carry my church. I'm allowed to carry legally.
sure.
You have to have written permission from your church to do so. I do, both my husband and myself. But they spend money every week and hire a uniformed officer, and they just stand in the lobby, and I don't think it's worth the investment that we're putting into it, because they're
Hmm.
kind of on their phone drinking coffee.
Right.
I could probably shoot better than them anyway.
Yeah,
I
the qualification, they don't necessarily have to qualify a lot. Let's put it that way.
Well, yeah, our range does a lot of agencies, and you kind of walk away sometimes just shaking your head.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Let me grab one more
Oh,
person.
my pleasure.
We're gonna get started. Um, let's see. Mr. Rizzo, are you with us? Hi.
How y'all doing?
Good. Where are you at?
I'm in Atlanta.
Oh, what a great place.
It can be when it's not too hot.
Yeah, it's 100 here on Wednesday in
Oh,
Northern Virginia.
oh wow, wow. Yeah, we hitting the upper 90s, so it can get kind of crazy down here.
Yeah, but we don't go to the gym enough and it makes us sweat and get some of
Well,
that.
yeah, that's true. That's true. That's 100% true.
Do you already currently have an instruction business?
Oh, yes, I do. I'm a Ophidian Tactical Solutions down here in Atlanta.
Very good. And who's your general clientele?
Well, mostly it's been ladies. Yeah, I'm like 75% was ladies, and this year I think I may have trained. I don't know if I've done 10 guys. It's just all women all the time. I'm like, okay, I have no problem with it at all. I love it. Come on in.
Well, women, we follow directions.
Yes,
Patient.
yes. I think I've only had one class where if a guy came with his wife or girlfriend, I think it was one time where he actually shot better than she did. And that's what we kind of figured out. They follow the instructions, they do what they're supposed to do. Guys, we'll look cocky. We think we know what we're doing, so we don't pay attention, and then our girlfriend outshoots us and we're
It's
embarrassed. So
it's really true. It's really true.
happens every time. Every time.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We're gonna get started here. If you don't know me, my name is Lisa. I'm the owner operator of Live Fire Instruction. Let's go here. I started my business in 2016, and here we are 10 years later. Just loving life and just trying to give back to um, the gun community, just trying to reap and sow and plant some seeds and let other people grow. Um, it's been a really interesting, I don't know, last couple of months, right? So I really want to talk about like the basics here. Let's see if I can turn this thing on here. Hmm. All right, you all see this? Here we go. Okay, so why are we doing this now? Why are we doing this in 2024? Because several reasons. One, gun sales are up, training's up, fear's up, political division is up. I don't run my business off of fear mongering. A lot of people do. It gets people's attention. It's a sales tactic. But so why are we doing this now? Why do we want to get rolling? Is because depending on what happens here in November, our gun rights could be challenged even more than they currently are, right? So we want to go ahead and make sure we're up and running and ready to go before, stuff hits the fan. Does that make sense without being crude, right? There's a lot of opportunity right now to get up and running in the one-on-one section and in the women's and the minorities. We don't have to be all the run and gun and all the tactical kind of people here. So gun sales are increasing about $1 million sales every quarter. That's outrageous. So I know we talked about last week. If you weren't here last week, both of our classes are on our Facebook group. Go ahead and just hit play on that. All that's free. But there's enough clientele out there, especially the new shooter, that we can be not only paying our mortgage, but having extra. I was talking to somebody at the gym today, like they asked me what I do, and I own a couple of businesses, but I said, we're the kind of people that quit a 40-hour job to work 80 hours so I can retire when I'm 55 or 60, right? So this is a really great opportunity season to go and be discovered. Again, we've talked about Facebook ads and Google ads. I would start with a Google ad that's within 25 miles of your range. Again, those trainings are in the Facebook group. But I wanted today to talk about business names, and let's see here. All right, give me a thumbs up. You see this? Joey, you see this? Can you see my screen? Okay, it says business
Oh,
names.
okay, there we go. Yeah, it's multiple slides.
It says choose the right business name. You see that?
No, I see slide 11 through 35.
Oh no, that's no bueno.
Yep.
Hold on. Thank you. How's that?
There we go.
Okay, great.
That's better.
Thank you. Thank you. Somebody help me out here. Right. I haven't done a 2-screen Zoom conference in a year. Here we go. Okay, so choosing the right name. I am very firm on, like, one, your name says what your business does, right? I don't like it to be overly tactical, depending on who your clientele is, and your clientele is who you're advertising to, like women, men, both, older, new shooters, carry, CCW permit people, carry people, running and gunning, the sport of shooting. There are so many branches you can go into. So your name of your business needs to reflect that. There are a lot of businesses out there that I'm not quite sure what you do, right? So it needs to be sound appealing. Like I have a friend who owns Tactical Trash Panda. They're great instructors, but the name kind of caught me off guard first. Like I wasn't quite, my husband had to explain it to me. It was a military thing. I didn't get it, right? So, has to make sense, friendly to your clientele. About 5 to 10 years ago, misspellings was like a thing, like spelling something odd or strange, right? Or making up your own words, like, I don't know, right? So, like my company, the name of my company is Live Fire Instruction. It's very simple. Make sure, this is a big one, make sure it can be trademarked, right? And that you can purchase the .com, livefireinstruction.com. So before you buy anything, go Google it. What comes up? Who comes up? Who comes up on the first 2 or 3 pages of your Google page, right? So here's some, I thought these were funny. Here's some examples of some poor names, right? And how you put them together and how they look on a business card or a billboard, right? I don't know why you call your business PMS Firearms, right? Like, is that women only? I don't know. And then what does this really say? Kids Exchange, right? But that's terrible. Okay. I'm not even going to say that one, right? The seafood restaurant. All right, let's talk about some good names. Bear Arms Training. I like that. His last name is Bear. So, and it's, it works for the Second Amendment. So Bear Arms Training, live fire instruction, those are all very clear on what the business does. And then your branding is really important too. So once you pick a name that one is clear on Google, that you can go on GoDaddy and make sure the .com's available. Try not to do .net, .us, .virginia. Just stick with .com if you really can. If you can't, if you want beararmstraining.com and it's not available, maybe do Bear Arms Training Virginia or VA. That's always available. But your branding is really important. So this is their old brand and their new brand. Very different, right? This to me looks like some 80-year-old guys are gonna go out in the woods and teach me something, right? This is very clean, good marketing. It's not threatening. The colors are bright and vibrant. And you can get this done on Fiverr, Fiverr, Fiverr.com. You can find anything you want there. I hired an attorney on there a month ago to write me a 1-page letter for like $50, and it was fantastic. So Fiverr.com, they will go and do all your branding. They'll do your logos, headers for Facebook and YouTube and Instagram if you ever get into those kinds of things. Again, we talked about the domain. I'm not a big fan of GoDaddy. I use HostGator. GoDaddy was getting they were starting to nickel and dime me. Instead of being, $400 a year, they started like pushing up the price to like $800 or $900 a year. It was just too much for hosting. So also, if you don't even want to do a website, again, Instructors Stash will do it all for you. You can get up and running by tomorrow. You don't have to do anything except put in your information. All right. Any questions on business names? I want to talk a little bit about business setup, like how you're setting up your business under an S Corp, an LLC, or sole proprietorship. Does anybody have questions about branding, or you want to tell me? I think I got everybody. Is anybody new? So, Chris, what's your business name?
Finch Arms, Firearms Training.
No, Finch Arms Training Academy.
Thank you. If I get corrected.
Awesome. Okay, great. All right, let's talk a little bit about your business startup here. So right away, coming out the gate, unless your state has some strange rules, you can start your business as an S Corp. What does that mean? The S Corp, I'm sorry, a sole proprietorship, right out the gate, sole proprietorship. That means you don't have to do anything, right? The thing about this is you're kind of liable if there's an accident, right? But that's why you have insurance. Sole proprietorship is super easy. Just keep track of all your expenses, your income, your expenses, and then just report them to the IRS at the end of the year. Super easy. Just go and get a really good insurance policy. I use Locked In. If somebody was asking about insurance earlier, that's who I use, Locked In Insurance. They're an affiliate with the National Rifle Association. They're very good. All right, so once you start making a little bit of money, let's say, more than $30,000 a year, right? That's no longer, we'll call a hobby. That's no longer training your neighbors or, folks from church. Now this is becoming a business. And then I would either choose an S Corp or an LLC. Let's talk about LLC real quick. An LLC is a limited liability company, and that's exactly what it says, limited liability. That liability is no longer on you personally, it's on the business. It's on live fire instruction. It's not on, they can't come and take your house away, essentially, right? So we do more than 150,000 a year in sales. So we're an LLC that files as an S corp. So this is like a little loophole, so you don't get double taxed. Call your accountant. So you can do as an S corp where the profit and loss are passed through directly through the owner's personal income. Again, all of this is in our training. If you want to go ahead and download it, I just went ahead and made it free for everybody. It's Bullseye Business Blueprint. Go log on, download the class. It's 100% free. bullseyebusinessblueprint.com. All right. If you don't know how to do any of this, there are companies out there that do this for a living. The company I use is called Swift Filing. Swiftfiling.com. I think it was like I want to say like $400. Because I think I got something extra too. I think they did the state and the county for me also. So I do have a local business license. I am registered with the state. So Swift Filing, remember all of this is a write-off. So every penny that you're investing into the startup of your business gets taken off of your income at the end of the year. All right, any questions about this before we move on? Is anybody on here not a sole proprietor? Is anybody an LLC or an S corp? Jim, what are you?
Or LLC.
You're an LLC. Tell me the name of your business again. Sorry.
Trusted Training.
That's a great name. Trusted Training LLC.
Yes, ma'am. By
Yeah.
law, we have to say it in our state. It has to come out as Trusted Training LLC. So that kind of bugs me because I like the way Trusted Training sounds, but can't fight City Hall.
Just tell people to play the game. It's okay.
Yep.
It does sound official though. It does sound like it gives it more of a formality and it's formal. I like it. Anybody else?
I'm an LLC also.
Very good. And tell me one more time the name.
It's Ophidian Tactical.
What is an Ophidian?
Okay, so you know how when you see like don't tread on me, they always had a snake.
Mhm.
I like dragons. So you see like my logo is kind of, I looked up like the dragon snake combination and it was called Ophidian. So I'm like, oh, okay, we'll ride with that.
Oh, is it like a Greek? I don't want to say Greek god, but
yeah, something like that. Yeah, but it's kind of like the snake, the dragon with the snake body.
I like that. I like that a lot. Do people do you have a tagline?
I do not. I probably need to get one.
Yeah. So because it doesn't exactly say what you're doing, I would put a tagline under it. You know, I don't know.
Okay. Write that down. Tagline.
Your premier firearm training company.
See, that's perfect right there.
Something like that.
So
Don't ask me to remember that because I won't.
I'm writing it down right now.
It's like a prophetic word. It just comes in and out and that's it. It's gone. Okay, so let's move on. I want to talk a little bit about fear today, and that's that'll be all I have today. But as you guys know, I'm a believer, and I spent a lot of time with the Lord and just talking about like where I'm going, what I'm doing, and what He has for me. And I realized that I bought Instructor Stash in May, and it's moving pretty well. It's going along well. We have a good staff and a good team, and our clients are coming on, and we don't lose very many, and people seem to really like the software and are using it and they are personally growing. But I come across the people who do leave, I call them and, we have a chat like, okay, what did you like about us? What did you like? Why, not necessarily to like, I want information for myself, right? How can we be better? How could we have supported you better? Things like that. And I find a lot of it doesn't have anything to do with us. It has to do with fear. And I find that it's so debilitating, right? And I talk a lot about this with my kid. Like she just started ninth grade, she's a freshman. And, in seventh grade, she'd walk around the halls with her arms folded looking at the floor, right? And one, it makes you a soft target, right? No matter how old you are. So this year we really worked on confidence and like we can do all things, right? And we can grow and not be afraid of a senior. So now she's walking down the hall, arms down, comfortable, eyes up, looking at people, talking to people more, smiling, engaging. She's in cross country now. She didn't do anything last year, but we talked a lot about fear and how um fear will make you poor. Fear will keep you poor. And it'll keep you where you are. So adventuring out and trying something new and taking chances is really what's going to set you free and set you above and set you apart than you are now. So even in my own life, like when we do advertising and marketing and the numbers start to go up, like I'm like, oh my gosh, it's a lot of money starting a new business. And then I have to like check myself, like, you want to grow. I want to retire when I'm 55. I turned 45 a couple of days ago. So I have 10 years to kill it basically. Right? So I want to travel with my husband. My kid will be done grown, and so when I make a choice, I have to like think about myself like how much of this no or yes is based on fear. And then I have to adjust accordingly. And this is kind of a new thing for me. I started live fire instruction out of desperation, right? Because I was lost my old job and I saw an opportunity because I was running out of money. I lost my job. So this was an opportunity and I took it, and the silver lining or Romans 8:28, God does everything for good, right? So, and it was a blessing. But this first several years of just growing is painful. You ever like lay with your kid at night and their legs hurt, right? Because they're growing. Those growing pains are a real thing. And my kid said something about she has to run her first track meet on Friday or cross country meet on Friday. She's like, I'm pretty scared. I was like, great, do it anyway. Do it scared, right? And if you fail, it's okay. I always tell people to fail forward. Not fail backward, fail forward, learn from your mistakes, get up and keep going and do it again and figure out a better way. I have changed our ad set, our ads, what they look like in the past 2 months, like 7 times until we get the response that we want. So I just want to challenge you a little bit on why you're making the decisions you are or are not making, right? And how much of that is based on fear and how much is based on wisdom, faith, and hope. Hey, Derek, do you have anything to add to that?
Uh, yeah, I think everything that you said was great. I know for me with myself and my children, a lot of times I tell them, the reason that you're afraid sometimes is because you actually care. If you didn't care about the outcome, you probably wouldn't have that nervousness or that fear because it wouldn't matter. So I think that that would be something that I add, and I think that you did a great job of being transparent and sharing your story, which I appreciate. And growth will make you afraid because you're afraid that you may not be able to handle it once it grows. It's not just you and your small little circle anymore. There's additional resources. There's, people that are expecting maybe a higher quality, and you don't necessarily know that you can get up to it. And I'm speaking to myself right now too. But I've found that we all have something inside of us that God's placed in us for our purpose. And he's given us certain skill sets that we haven't even tapped into yet. We haven't needed to. Hold on a second. I'm sitting. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm. Sound great.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Yes. So, that's one of the things that God's been really revealing to me. There's things that you know or may not know that you haven't even tapped into yet, and by allowing fear to hold you back, you'll never tap into those things. And there are things that you've done in your former job, whatever it may be, that you can tap into and bring forward and carry forward in that bag with you to this now as well. And a friend of mine, I don't want to monopolize the time, but a friend of mine says that fear stands for false evidence of things appearing real.
That's good.
And they say that like 85% of the things that we're concerned about or we fear will never happen. It's that 15%.
Mm-hmm.
And, as believers, we leave that 15% to God and let him handle that 15. And, I just got to make sure I'm not worried about the 85, which will never happen. So that was probably what I would add. But I think that fear sometimes can be healthy as long as it doesn't paralyze you.
Yeah, I agree with that. Anybody else? The wisdom of Chris. What do you think? Chris is pretty wise. Chris, what do you think?
Yeah, we're definitely correct in that. Fear can definitely stop you from being the best person that you can be, to have the best outcome from everything. And a lot of times there's nothing wrong with going to the edge of the cliff and jumping, because you know that something better than you is going to make sure that you land safe.
Yeah. I'm going to show my age here, but I don't know which Indiana Jones movie. I think it was Temple of Doom, right? Where he goes to like the cliff and he has to like get to the other side, but there's a bridge there, but he can't see it. It's camouflaged, right? Like, I think that's where a lot of people are right now. We're at that cliff. We don't see the bridge, but the bridge is there. And we just have to take one step forward to find out what is really holding us up and stabilizing our walk. So if you could take something away tonight, like kind of check your heart and see why we're making the decisions we're making and what is driving them, and make the appropriate adjustments so your outcome is a little bit better. Anybody else? Yes, Mr. Joey.
I was going to say on my desk, I don't know if you can see this or not. It's in reverse. Well, it's a rock. It says, act as though it were impossible to fail. And then my other item on my desk is, the positive thinker sees the invisible, feels the intangible, and achieves the impossible. I mean, I can tell you a real quick story if you got a second about fear in the business. Rizzo, I don't know how old he is. I'm probably older than he is, but I was My parents moved to Atlanta in 1958, so I lived there until 2015. Depending upon how old Rizzo is, on Buford Highway outside 285 in Atlanta. Well, let me start with, I'll try to make this brief. I was selling real estate back in the 80s, and the interest rates went up to 15, 16%. So I started buying cars on the side and selling them street curbing, is what they would say. Okay. So I started street curbing cars. And then I moved into a duplex. And then lived on a 4-lane highway, Shallifer Road, which is off 85. Rizzo may know that location, and sold cars there. I had a record guy that had a shop on Buford Highway. And what happened was he went out of business and tore the place completely apart. So the building was destroyed, but it was an excellent location. And I thought that would be a chance for me to open up my own auto business. And you talk about fear. It was more than fear that I had having to sign on the dotted line for that building. Ironically, that building was owned by a mower company that when I was 11 years old, my mom used to take me up there to that same building to buy parts for my lawnmower so I could go around and cut grass and push a lawnmower. So anyway, I got into that building and redid everything and just got married. The new wife was not too thrilled about that, but it started to take off. And all of a sudden, it got bigger, better. And I looked at how to do things smarter, better, faster. And then I turned it into, from selling just cars, we specialized in 240, 260, 280 Z cars. And we were very well known. Z Car Atlanta was up the street from me, and I was south of them. It's a long story about how I got selling the Z parts. Actually, Z Car Atlanta sold me a bad car that couldn't be rebuilt, and he said, you need to just part it out. So I parted it out. I made 3 times more parting that car out than if I would have fixed it. So long story short, with the fear factor, I took that leap and never saw how big things could get. It got so big and so crazy that it was almost unmanageable. I had guys working for me, but it came to a point where everything we were doing wasn't working anymore. So, as I went up plateau, stayed up there for a long time, then it started to slide. And as soon as it started coming down, that's when I knew it was time to move on. So, but I mean, starting a business like this is one thing. You got to be careful because people can be injured. But when I signed on that dotted line for that building and knew I was going to be held liable, it was like, if you want fear, trust me. There were many sleepless nights on that one. So
that's awesome. And I really like what you said about the positive thinking. I think I shared this last week. I just finished reading that 80-year-old The Power of Positive Thinking book, which really helps me like refocus what goes on in here, why nothing's coming out of here, right? The 20 minutes that you think about before you go to bed or right when you wake up, like, are you like your worry go on right away, or like what are you thinking about? Because whatever happens in here, you attract almost, right? So if you are worried all the time, like, then you attract that to you. So pay attention tomorrow, right? And just think about what you are thinking about. That's a little odd. But is it healthy? Is it positive? I keep saying to myself, like, 1,000 people and 1,000 doors. 1,000 people and 500 doors. What does that mean? To me, right? I want 1,000 people on Instructor Stash in the next 5 years, 1,000 people. And then when that happens, I'm going to buy 500 doors. What does that mean? I'm going to buy an apartment complex or like units. A door's a unit, right? So right now I own 5 units, right? I want 500 units because I really believe in generational wealth. Like I'm really been studying about that and trying to learn what that is. And I only have 1 kid. setting her, a a good man leaves an inheritance to its children's children. And my father-in-law is a wonderful man. He just sold a 40-year-old business. I don't know how many zeros. It was a lot of zeros. He didn't really share that with me, but he's in the position to set his kids up and his grandkids up, you know, and train them and teach them how to invest that, not just live off of it, not just be rotten, but to be wise and find things that are dear to your heart and support them. The Boys and Girls Club, church things, missionaries, um, cancer, pets, whatever your thing is, that we're in the position that we can support what we love and what's dear to us, right? My mom beat cancer twice. She had breast cancer 25 years ago, and then I would say 2 years ago, she's 81 now. She had breast cancer, lung cancer, throat cancer. My mom's never smoked a day in her life, right? She's had one cocktail her whole life, and it was with me last year, right? So and it was stage 4. Stage 4, 3 types of cancer, and you're 80 years old, at 79, 80 years old at this time, right? We put her on something called fenbenzynol. That's another story. But her cancer's gone. She's cancer-free. A year and a half later. They gave her like 8 months. And here we are going on 2 years. So I had a conversation with her the other day. We went on vacation, and she's kind of frail. I said, "Mom, you beat cancer, but now you're going to starve to death because you won't eat. Like, what's going on in here? You just beat cancer. You have another 20 years to bug me, right? So what's going on in here that we're not like getting up every day and moving and walking and eating?" I said, "You have 3 things. You don't have to worry about money. Me and my sister pay for everything, right? You have to eat, walk, and pray. That's your job every day now. Until you get better, those are the 3 things you have to do." And I have to call her every day to make sure her mind is in the positions like, "Yep, I got another opportunity to live another 20 years. So we're gonna get up, we're gonna walk, and we're gonna eat. I'm gonna spend time with the maker and live my life." So today and tomorrow, really kind of think about what you dwell on. And is it healthy? Is it healthy, wealthy, and wise? And if you catch yourself in a negative spiral, like, you just have to stop, write yourself a list of what's true in your life, right? I love my wife. We have a healthy marriage. I like my home. I'm in a good community. And you have to remind yourself of the positive things that are happening in your life so you don't sometimes spiral, right? Sometimes I catch myself like, oh my God, all these things are happening at one time, right? Like today, I had to take my kid to school at 6:45. Then I had to pick her up from school at 9 o'clock. Then I had to take her to eye surgery at 11 o'clock. Then I had to take her to the orthodontist. Then I had to pick up her little goofy friends at 2:30. Then I had to take them back to cross country. And my husband just left to pick them up from cross country. It's too much. It's crazy, right? So I was thinking in the car, I'm like, oh my God, I'm not getting any work done today, like, because I have to do it. And I'm like, stop. You get time with your kid. I have like 4 more years with her, right? And then she's gonna go be college and go be grown. And I was like, just enjoy the moment with this, and everything else will work out. It will work out, guys, I promise. That's all I have for today, guys. Does anybody have um any thoughts or questions? Kind of right on time. That's all I got.
Hey, Lisa, you
Hey,
said the
Lisa.
other trainings that you have are on the Facebook page.
Yeah, so this is our third week. The other two live trainings we've done is on the Facebook page. It's under hold on, I forget what it's under. And it's also on Bullseye Business Blueprint. It's free.
Okay.
And I'll tell it's under the guides tab on our Facebook group. The guides tab at the top. There's a lot of training in there. Not just our live stuff, but Facebook, Google, all kinds of marketing stuff.
Okay, I see it. All right, thanks.
Hey, Lisa, Alex here from Tampa.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. It's good to hear you. What's going on?
Good. So I know last week I had said that I wanted to help out, in any way that I could with assistance for folks that are trying to figure things out and get their instructor stuff going. So last week, for those of you that weren't on, I offered, if you are looking for equipment for yourself to get yourself started, to get yourself moving. I own an ecommerce. I have thousands of products that I sell. I'm also an FFL. So I'm going to leave my address on there, on my information. You can get a hold of me. You can reach out to me. And because you are following this wonderful person here, you will get a discount. I'll give you pretty much what I can get the stuff at to help you get yourself started, which is wholesale price, by the way. So that includes firearms for your students. That includes for yourselves, whatever you're using. I also have Locked in Affinity. I also use the same insurance company for all my stuff too. So if it's range bag, if it's whatever it is that you need, I'm going to put my info in there and you can reach out to me. And I want to help you guys also get yourselves moving. But I enjoy coming on here because she puts out great information. Thanks as always, Lisa.
I need a new range bag. Mine it's all broken at the bottom.
Yeah, yours is probably like walking itself around where it's so worn out.
It is.
Yeah, for sure.
It's almost to the point where it's like embarrassing.
Yeah, see, you can't do that. Your level, you can't walk around with a crappy looking ring, and you can't say, "Well, I've been doing it for so long." That doesn't fly at your level. Yeah,
it does. You're right. You're so right. But it's like, it's part of me. I've had this one. I think I've had this one for like 4 years. It's got the wheels on the bottom, and
yeah, you could keep that. You could keep that thing and like put it up on the wall and have it like a collecting thing. When people come to visit you, they're like, "Hey, there's the first bag from 10 years ago."
That's hilarious.
You got to step your game up there, young lady.
I know, right? Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right. Anybody else, guys? Anything else? Throw anything at me. I'll give you my 2 cents.
For instructor insurance,
Mhm.
I was trying to write it down, but who would you suggest to use for instructor insurance?
I use Locked In. Locked In.
How do you spell-
LOCKTON.
They're Locked in Affinity.
Yeah, Affinity Outdoor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, how do you spell it again? I'm sorry.
LOCKTON. Locked In Affinity.
Insurance. Okay.
Yeah, they have a lot of insurance, so I would just Google Locked In Firearm Instructor Insurance.
Okay. I appreciate that.
Yep. And you can have insurance literally in 20 minutes. It's super easy.
And what would you suggest for a business card setup?
I don't quite understand. Like a style
say-
or?
Well, like what to put on the business card.
Oh,
Just keep
sure.
it simple or
So mine's super clean. Here's actually a picture of mine.
okay.
When I reprint these, this font is too small. I will go and make that way bigger. And then there's just nothing, there's just my logo on the back. So super clean, super simple, but it's bright. And as you can tell here, it's super shiny. They're really nice quality ones.
Okay. Any suggestion for a printer for your cards?
I think I use Printograph. And that's only because I had like a dealer code. We used to run a marketing company, so I have a dealer code with them. I would just shop around and find a good price.
Yeah, I use Vistaprint, so they have some pretty good deals over there for Vistaprint.
Yeah, Vistaprint is they're kind of the go-to for business cards. I don't know if they still offer it, but they had like 250 for free, but their Vistaprint was on the back of it. Like their little logo was like in the corner. But if you're just starting out, man, it don't matter.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Yeah, I want to make sure they're printed by a press and not copied.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Right. So if you go to like Kinko's or whatever, they make nice business cards, but they're from a copy machine. You want them printed. Anything else? And then Fiverr, Fiverr, will do a nice design for you. You just upload the PDF, typically.
So they'll do it. I guess they'll do a logo for you, is
They'll
what it
do a
is.
logo. So usually you buy a logo kit. It's the logo, stationery, business card, Facebook header. And look through. So you want to look through and find an artist or a designer who matches your flavor, right? There's 5,000 of them on there. I try to stay to the top. I think it's called a pro. I think it's pro status. I stay to the pro status. I read the reviews. I look at their turnaround time. If I have questions and I message them, how long does it take them to respond? All those things are important to me. If it takes you 2 days to respond, I'm not interested in doing business with you. It's you're too busy or you don't care or whatever. So
Yeah. And another suggestion with Fiverr is make sure that they'll do a revision, because if they do one and you don't like it, they may try
Sure.
to charge you for it. So make sure that they'll do
Sure.
it for free until you like what
Sure.
they did for you.
yeah, that is a true statement. So usually you get like 4 or 5 versions of it, and then you do a reversion. You pick one and then you tweak that one.
Okay.
And they do
That's good
better.
information.
Yeah, they do better if you send them like, oh, I kind of like this logo that I found online and kind of like this one. And that helps them. English is typically not their first language, so it helps them when they have a visual.
Okay. Okay. All right. Good information. I appreciate it.
Yeah. You can buy a logo kit for under $100. It's super cheap.
Right.
Okay. Anybody else? Last thoughts?
Yeah, I just had one quick question.
Sure.
What are your thoughts, and maybe Alex as well could weigh in on this, on using QR codes for cards? So the QR codes.
I just put QR codes on all my emails and flyers literally like a month ago, maybe not even a month ago. I do think because of COVID, QR codes have been, yeah, very, everybody gets them. They didn't get them before COVID. So now that, they're on all the restaurant tables, they have, all the doors, I think it's very common. I would just put one, and now you can kind of go in and make your QR code, I don't want to say look cute, but you can put your logo in the middle now. They can be super fancy. I definitely would. And then I might have one go to a particular page. So this is what I don't like when a QR codes just go to your website. Here's our homepage. Good luck. Right? But so on my business card, if I have a QR code, I'm going to take them directly to our training page to book a class. Because when you have too much stuff on your website, they get confused and lost. It's overwhelming, and they're off your website in 6 seconds.
So great question about the QR code. So what I've found out is I work the Florida gun show circuit down here in Florida where I'm at. It's generational. So the younger crowd totally understand QR codes, and they'll ask you for a QR code before they ask you for your entire URL. The older crowd, they're looking more for it's very complicated for them, and they don't understand the concept, so they will quickly shy away from it. And I can tell immediately. That's why when I set out business cards, I set out 2 kinds. One for my younger crowd that has the QR, and then one for the old heads that want to be able to look at www and type in that whole thing that they do. But great question. I use it.
Yeah. I mean, you could do one on one side, one on the other side, double print it.
Yeah, Alexander was holding up a card. It was looked like a pretty nice card there.
Yeah. So he has rounded corners on his, right?
Yeah, I
Alexander
do
has
the
corners?
rounded corners.
Yeah.
I do the rounded corners.
That's an extra feature.
Yeah, it is.
I'm cheap.
So
I didn't do that.
yeah, it's an extra feature. These are done on Vistaprint. I got mine on Vistaprint. So this was, my director of training, Jennifer, she's up in Georgia because I'm co-located. She said, because I used to have a different color because of my military and law enforcement background. She's like, hey, big guy, we need red. Red attracts people. And I was like, Roger that. All right. So I went with red, and they are a hit, a smash hit. Everybody loves them. They're like, hey, man, that's a really good looking business card. And I'm like, I appreciate it. I don't take the credit. I tell them it was her. But just do some basic stuff on there for our company. But that color, like Lisa said, that stuff, whatever pops out, they're going to let you know whatever pops out and whatever doesn't.
So here's a very simple, let me see if I can pull this up for you before we run away here.
I was going to say, with his red card, if you put in a stack of business cards, you're going to find that one quickly.
Yes, indeed. Very, very, very quickly. And that's the point. That's the point of it. Because when I work a gun show, I come across, a couple thousand people on a weekend, and they're grabbing business cards from all over the different place. And the biggest one, a lot of the tactical guys, they love the color black. They love black or camo or something of that nature. So yeah, that red sticks out.
I'm very anti-black, like when it comes to logos and websites and stuff. All right, do you guys see my color wheel here?
Yep.
Okay, this is how most designers work. So you pick two colors, but they're typically opposite on the color wheel. So I don't know, can you see my mouse?
Yep.
Okay, so let's say you want blue, right? You're gonna go like mine, blue to orange, pink to green, green to reddish orange. That is how a good color scheme is made. So whatever color you love or represents you in your business, you want to look what's opposite on the color wheel to accent it so it stands out. It's bright and vibrant. And as you notice on here, black's not on here. Neither is white. So that's just a hint, a tip. Anything else, folks? We will be here next week. We're going to do this probably through September and see if our attendance still keeps up. If people still show up, I'll keep teaching. Bullseye Business Blueprint is now free. Go get 3 hours of training. Go get that. It comes with a bunch of worksheets and things to help you get started. Always Instructors Dash. Great place to start. Organize your business. Sell tickets super fast. Keep track of all your clients. All the automation. I guess that's it. If you need something, my office phone is everywhere. Please feel free to call me or send me an email. And I guess that's all I got. Yeah. Okay, guys.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Appreciate it. Good
pleasure.
information.
Yep. We'll see you next week.
All right.
Thanks.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Lisa.
Lisa.
Lisa,
Bye.
thank you.
Thanks.
Take
God
care,
bless
everybody.
you.